Welcome to this presentation on rural water supply in India. This presentation aims at providing some basic understanding of rural water supply in India, highlighting some of the issues there, and this will also put across what are the various standards and norms followed in rural water supply and the management and evolution that is taking place in rural water supply sector. So, rural water supply, it's primarily the responsibility of state governments to provide water. And the central government through the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation is providing financial assistance, or we can say that it is supplementing the finance that is available with the state governments. And all said and done, providing water supply is completely with gram panchayats. Ultimately, at the grassroots level, providing water supply, it is with the gram panchayats. And if you see the facilities, what are the facilities available in the villages or gram panchayats today? We can see hand pumps are there, piped water supply is there, you find overhead tanks are there, and individual yard connections are there, common water collection points are there, and open wells are there. We have all these facilities in the gram panchayats. And ask me, what is the vision of National Rural Drinking Water Program of the government? And the vision is safe and adequate drinking water for all at all times in rural India. That's the vision of the National Drinking Water Mission. And here, if you just ask me the crux of this, some 5 to 6% of the people are using unprotected water sources. And the vision of the government is that all these people move towards using at least some common water collection point, and most of these people should be getting piped water supply. That is where we are moving, and this you shall find this in the graph you see here, that we are moving from unprotected sources and further up to the hand pumps and further up to the common water collection points, and then further up to reach yard connections to individual households. That's where we are trying to move. If you see the graph again here, you find over a period of time, let's say by 2022, that's the vision of the government again. By 2022, the government wants to bring down the number of common water collection points, the government wants to bring down the number of hand pumps, and it wants to increase the house service connections. Every household must be provided with house service connection. That's the aim of the government. And if I can put it across still more clearly, I should say that at least 90% of the households must be covered with piped water supply, and at least 80% of the households must have yard connection. Every household must have yard connection. That's the idea. And the common water collection points and also the hand pumps must be reduced to 10%. That is the idea of the government. One may ask, what are the various parameters used in rural water supply, or what are the various standards and norms used in water supply? And there are 5 important parameters we can think of. One is quantity, second we have quality, access, dependability, affordability. These are the 5 parameters we mainly consider when it comes to rural water supply. When I say quantity, what I mean is the adequacy of water supply. Do people get adequate water supply? That is about quantity. When I say quality, the safety of water. Is the water safe? That's about quality. And the third is about the access. What is the distance people travel to get that water, to get drinking water? That's about access. And the fourth one is about the dependability. Dependability goes with regularity of supply. Do people get regular water supply? That is about dependability. Can people really depend on this source? And the last one, or the fifth one, is about the affordability. How about the cost? What amount? What is the amount of money people pay for getting this water? Is it really affordable to the rural people? So these are the 5 parameters considered for especially when you think in terms of model village where you provide water supply. These are 5 parameters we go for measuring. And one may ask also, what is the minimum water supply one must get? That is 55 liter per capita per person. So in Indian standards, the Government of India or the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation has stipulated that every person must get 55 liter per capita. And if you are not getting 55 liter per capita, if you are getting about 40 liter per capita, that means you get only about intermediate access, and you get only about 20 liter, you are getting only basic access. That's the meaning. So for the 55 liter that they are saying, they have a certain breakup also, how much a person needs for cooking, how much a person needs for drinking, how much a person needs for bathing. For all these together they have calculated. That's what they call domestic water supply system per person, right? So that they have calculated 55 liter per capita, and this differs. Government of India has a different figure, and also the World Health Organization, they have a different figure, but we go by Government of India standards, and as per Government of India standards, the basic access is 20 liter per capita, and the intermediate access is 40 liter per capita, and the optimal or adequate access is 55 liter per capita. If somebody is getting 70 liter, that's excellent. That is the dream of Government of India. The dream of Government of India is to provide 70 liter per capita, and that is something every Gram Panchayat can aspire for. But otherwise, if we can provide 55 liter per capita, we can say that we are giving adequate water supply. Somebody who is going to study a model village also can have this parameter. If people are getting 55 liter per capita, they can say people are getting enough water, adequate water. People may say that no, water supply is not enough to us, all that. I mean, subjectively they may say that, but all said and done, when it comes to objectivity of a researcher, we must go by these standards when it comes to quantity. Similarly, we can also go for quality or the safety of water, and safety can be measured in three different parameters. One is it must be free from bacteriological contamination. That's obvious, all of us know, number one. Number two, free from chemical contaminations, and number three, and what are the physical characteristics of the water, in the sense such as color, smell of the water, taste of the water, such things go into this. So when it comes to the quality or safety of water, these are the three things we consider. One is bacteriological contamination. It must be free from bacteriological contamination, and it must be free from chemical contamination, and also the physical characteristics must be acceptable. So these are the three standards we go with. And the third one we have is about the access. What distance people travel to get drinking water. So water supply facilities must be made available within 100 meters. As per the Government of India guidelines, every household must be able to get whatever domestic water that they need, they should be able to get within 100 meters. If they get within 100 meters, we can say that we have done justice. If they have to travel more than 100 meters, then we can say that people are walking longer than they are supposed to. That's about access. And the fourth is about the dependability. What is the regularity of supply? When it comes to regularity, how this is measured is that in a 2 weeks time, if people are getting at least for 12 days water supply, we can say the source from which these people are getting water is dependable. So dependability is about getting water at least for 12 days in a 14 consecutive days. That's how it is measured. And the fifth one is about affordability. That is about cost payable, especially for operation and maintenance, and is it affordable to the people. That's about affordability. And having said all these, there are two important things I would mention about sustainability. There are two different things or two dimensions when we have to look at the sustainability of rural water supply system. One is about the source sustainability, and the other is about the system sustainability. The source must be sustainable so that the system is sustainable, system becomes functional. For this to happen, we need to have a proper community management system. For this to happen, we need to have a proper community management system. And what is community management system? The concept of community management entails enhancement of capabilities of Gram Panchayats to manage water supply technically and financially without looking forward to any external assistance. There should be no external assistance, and technically, financially, the Gram Panchayat should be able to manage it. That's what we call a community management system. And this stems from the idea that for many engineers, water supply system is just a technical installation. It is not just a technical installation. There should be proper management system in place so that everybody gets water. It is not just the technical installation only. There should be proper management system in place so that everybody gets water. And if you ask what are the essentials of a sustainable community management system, there are three important things we can mention. One is there should be institutional management, there should be technical management, there should be financial management. So these three dimensions must be there. One is about institution, second one is about the technical management, and the third is about the financial management. When I say institutional management, what I mean is that the 73rd Constitutional Amendment, it has given the responsibility of providing water to the Gram Panchayats. Now, the Gram Panchayat, they can constitute a village water and sanitation committee, and they can entrust this responsibility of providing water to the people to this committee, village water and sanitation committee, and they are responsible, and they have the power to levy water charges, water fees, collection of water fees from the people, all these. So there should be an institution in place. We have the panchayat as an institution in place, and the panchayat has all the powers to form one village water and sanitation committee, and this one village water and sanitation committee takes care of water supply and collection of water charges, all these. This is what I mean when I say institutional management. And this how it looks like. You can see in the diagram here how it looks like. The village panchayat is there, gram sabha is there, and then we have education committee, we have works committee, we have agriculture committee, we have various committees. As one of these committees, we have village water and sanitation committee that takes care of water sanitation related issues. That is what institution is. And for this institution to function all right, we need to have some model bylaw, a model bylaw that is applicable within the Gram Panchayat. And we have some samples here. You can take a look at the sample here. Bylaw for village water and sanitation committee, we have bylaw for water supply. All these are applicable within the Gram Panchayat. There must be some rules in place that which people or the households must follow, so that things are in place. And the responsibility of implementing these bylaws is with the VWSC, with the Gram Sabha, with the village panchayat. And the next dimension we mentioned is about the technical skills at the Gram Panchayat level. There must be technical skills available, and there must be people trained in attending to some simple repairs. If there is a small repair, a local person should be able to attend to that. So for that, there are capacity building exercises being done by Government of India. So that is about the technical management. That's about technical management. And the third is about the financial management. This means being able to meet the 100% operation and maintenance cost by the people. People should be able to maintain. The government can give the facility, the government can give the capital expenditure required for constructing the facilities. Facilities are there in place, but how about the operation and maintenance, daily operation and the maintenance, breakdown maintenance, and attending to the repairs? All that must be done by the community management system or the panchayat. So for being able to do this, the community should be able to collect some user charges, so that this can be used for meeting the operation expenses and the maintenance. And if user community can take charge of the operation and maintenance, it will be easy for the government to move on to other villages where water supply has not been fully given, or they have been partially covered. So the government can move on to other villages. Otherwise, the government may have to be spending the money over and over again in the same village, right? So that's the need for financial management at the panchayat level. The diagram here shows how this responsibility has moved from a centralized system from the government to the community. Initially, it was completely with the government. And then we were eliciting people's participation, we were inviting people's participation, and from there we have moved on to community management, or creating a community management system. And from there, what are we aiming is to bring about an autonomous system where the panchayat will be able to handle the water supply, entire water supply system to themselves. So that's where we are moving towards. When I talk about all these, there is one more dimension I must mention. That I keep mentioning that it is the responsibility of the Gram Panchayats to provide water supply, and that does not mean that the Gram Panchayat must completely take charge and do that. They can also innovate other ways of providing water supply. For example, there could be some self-help groups in a Gram Panchayat. The government can give responsibility to a given self-help group to take charge of water supply in a given ward, for example, or in a habitation, for example. So the government, the panchayat, Gram Panchayat does means it is not completely the Gram Panchayat does. It must also innovate ways of providing water supply. So one option can be entrusting it to the local self-help groups. Another option can be finding some kind of social enterprise model run by some Gram Panchayats or some private operators. And there are also NGOs and registered societies that operate water ATMs, where the water is RO treated and supplied to the people for a price. So there can be several non-state players also coming into providing water supply, which the Gram Panchayat can try to use. So these are some of the managerial innovations available and which the Gram Panchayat can make use of to ensure adequate water supply, safe water supply to the village people. If you want further reading on this, I would suggest you to go through these two documents. One is National Rural Drinking Water Program 2013, that's available in the website of the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. And the second one, the same, again it is available in the website of the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, that is Drinking Water Advocacy and Communication Strategy Framework 2022. So these are two important documents that I would say one must go through to understand completely about rural water supply in India, and they are available in the website of the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. And if you want to contact me, I'm R. Ramesh, Associate Professor, Center for Rural Infrastructure, National Institute of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, Hyderabad. And my email ID is rramesh.nird@gov.in. Thank you very much.